function of the Sheriff's Office of Pointe Coupee, the Sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer of the parish and is responsible for upholding law and order. The Sheriff's Office is made up of the Criminal Division, which is responsible for continuous patrolling of the entire parish, and the Civil Division, which is responsible for detective investigation of felony offenses. The Corrections Division operates the parish jail, and the Juvenile Division is responsible for conducting juvenile affairs. The operations of the 911 Communications Center and Office of Emergency Preparedness is also under the auspices of the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff is the ex officio tax collector for the parish, collecting taxes assessed and dispersing them to the necessary parish agencies, such as the school board, fire districts, libraries, police jury, and law enforcement, just to name a few. Candidates for the office of Sheriff of Pointe Coupee Parish are Paul Raymond Smith, incumbent, and Beauregard Bud Torres. Mr. Smith will not be with us tonight. A 25-year veteran of the Louisiana State Police, Beauregard Bud Torres III is running for sheriff to ensure Pointe Coupee is a safe and drug-free community his children and grandchildren can call home. Torres began his law enforcement career in 1980, a Louisiana wildlife agent, and transferred to the Louisiana State Police in 1982 as a uniformed patrol trooper before being elevated to positions of investigator in state police, and then was assigned to the FBI Organized Crime Task Force for 9 years, then was promoted to supervisor in Undercover Narcotics Division of the State Police. Mr. Torres retired from the State Police in 2005. Throughout his law enforcement career, Mr. Torres received countless awards for his service, including a letter of recognition for his tenure with the Organized Crime Task Force by FBI Director Louis Freeh. Torres is the owner of Beauregard's Department Store, which is located on Hospital Road and New Roads, a small business he and his wife, Nisa, launched in the front yard of their Maringouin home 19 years ago. Mr. Torres is married to the former Nisa Cifrio, also of Maringouin. They have been married 27 years and have 2 sons, Travis and his wife, Carrie, and Wesley. Both Travis and Wesley reside in New Roads. Mr. Torres is a parishioner of the Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic Church in Maringouin, is an avid outdoorsman, and also a fisherman.
Mr. Torres, would you care to make your opening remarks?
I certainly will.
Good evening. It is truly a humbling honor to be here tonight, to stand before you, the good people of Pointe Coupee Parish, and be given the opportunity to tell you what I plan and what I see for the future of this parish. And if it all goes well, I hope those of you who are not decided, or maybe on the other side, may reconsider your thoughts or your position, because we truly have a huge task at hand. As a retired state trooper, I've spent my life work involved in law enforcement in this state. I've seen many things, and I've been involved in many operations where I've seen men hurt and really go through a lot for what they believe to be the right thing to do. And when I made the decision to run for sheriff, I thought about those consequences and everything that I've been exposed to. And I felt so compelled that who am I to judge what I want? I was trained by the best. I had the opportunity to serve you on a state level, and a lot of you never even saw me. I was kind of a mystery man for many years here. People knew I worked for the state but didn't know where, but I spent a lot of time in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. But the thing of it is, I've learned an expertise, I have the tools, and I have the ability to do the job, and I need your help to get there. And I want to tell you that if you give me this opportunity, I'll be forever grateful and humble to you to do the best job that I possibly can. But one thing I want to touch on is this about the job itself in the department. The Sheriff's Department is a very important component of government. It is where the rubber meets the road. It is where the government meets the people. The legislators, as I've just witnessed time and time again, they fight in Baton Rouge for the issues that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. In the Sheriff's Office, you have to deal with it face to face. It's a whole different world. But I would like to say that if elected sheriff, my first priority will be to reorganize the department. And within the current budget constraints that are currently there, I feel confident that we can make the adjustments and put more deputies on the road, protecting the citizens of this parish. Because I think that if you have a department, you should spend 90% of your resources to serving the public and being accountable and being on the street making a difference every day. The next thing is to expand investigations, because uniformed patrol can only take you so far. It's like goodwill in an election. It can only do so much. You must have covert operations. You must have trained, skilled investigators that are identifying criminal elements within your community and working at them on a daily basis to reduce their numbers, infiltrate their organizations, disrupt their activities, and arrest them. It's your job. The next thing that I look at expanding is the duty and role of the resource officers in the school. I think the future of law enforcement is going to be being involved in every aspect of life. When our schools are in session, they are the largest communities in our parish. Therefore, we need police protection in the schools to make sure that they're safe and that no one can harm our children, and that our children are not harmed when they're at school. I think we need, the first order of business, if elected, is to reduce the amount of drugs on the street. I think that is the biggest. It is a job that I'm particularly trained for, and I embrace, and I do not make any bones about it. I think that if we reduce the amount of drugs that are available on the street, we're going to reduce our crime levels, we're going to reduce the violence in our communities, and we will give other programs and other agencies and organizations a chance to do a better job, and the community as a whole will rise and will improve. I think the next thing I would like to talk about here quickly, I have a few more minutes, is the corrections and prisons. One of the biggest problems that we face in this country is the habitual offender, the person that goes into prison at an early age, gets out, and then within a year, they're usually back in jail. This cycle of violence and crime and being involved in an incarceration scenario is one of the things that is really costing our government a lot of money to house prisoners. I think that we should take every opportunity to try and rehabilitate and reform prisoners so that they can go back into society and lead a productive life. And I think that if we would take the time and take the effort and energy to work with these people that are incarcerated and try and turn their lives around and show them a better way to make a living other than stealing or whatever they're doing, that's their problem, we will go a long way in reducing the number of repeat offenders and therefore reduce the burden on the taxpayers. The other thing I look at, and that's very important to me, is that work release. Work release is a hot issue in this parish. It's something that's working here. And I can tell you, as a businessman, if the current system that we have is working best for the people of Pointe Coupee, we'll let it go. I'll endorse it. I'll embrace it. But if it's not in the best interest of the people of Pointe Coupee, I will do something about it. I'll change the course we're on. Because I look at it like this. The work release program should be geared towards training a person to go and cope with the problems of life and to be reintroduced to the society where they can lead a productive life. The other thing I see, because of my experience with the state police, my job was basically to go out and arrest people.